Video, we are going to look at a brand new product by Almay. These are the Velvet Foil Cream Eyeshadows. They are available through Ulta to purchase. I will put a link in the description box below if you're wondering where you can buy them, as well as a link to Ebates so that you can get some cash back on any online order that you make. At Ulta, these retail for $7.99 each. They are buy one, get one half off right now, and in the future I'm sure there will be constant sales for them, as there always are through Ulta. There are a total of 12 different shades. We will be swatching and looking at all 12 of those shades. And I'm really excited about this. I will also be doing a video on the new Almay lipstick line that has released that look kind of like the Sephora Story lipsticks. I'm not super familiar with those, but I do recognize that they look a lot like them. So if you're curious about those, that is also upcoming. Almay is not a company that I usually get excited about. Their makeup seems sort of just not exciting to me. So I don't believe I've ever done a swatch video for this brand. That is part of the reason I'm particularly interested and excited to do this video. All right, please remember to subscribe to the channel, and let's get looking at these 12 new cream eyeshadow shades from Almay. Alright, so the description for these says, make it metallic with the Almay Velvet Foil Cream Shadow. These velvety shadows are crease-proof, smudge-proof, and fade-proof for all-day wear. They're supposed to have high-intensity color and pigment, and they each contain 0.36 ounces of product. Okay, as for the packaging, these are squeeze tubes with a twist-off cap and an opening like that. Alright, so we're starting with this first shade, which is 010 Endgame. And I'm going to swatch with my finger. This is a chocolate brown with a slight metallic shimmer. Next up is 02 Cupid Glaze. This is a medium silvery pinky peach. More, I guess not that much peach, more pink. And it has larger particles of silver shimmer. 03 is Golden Vibes. Some of the oils coming out first on some of these. Alright, this is more of a like antiqued kind of gold, like a bronzy gold. Number 4 is Ruby Glam. Alright, that one is really oily. I don't think that's the actual formula, so I'm going to wipe that swatch off. I'm going to do that again. So 04 is Ruby Glam. And they're not the kind of thing where you can really shake them like a liquid. So I'm trying to massage them in the tube as best I can. This one is a plum, metallic plum. Next up is going to be Violet Eyelet. And this is a much brighter purple. Again, metallic, slightly lighter, almost like pinkish purple shimmer. Number 6 is Lunar Disco. Again, I tried to massage this one, but some of them are just a little waterier than the other ones, at least at first. This one's a deep, like midnight kind of blue. Okay, we're gonna stop there with the first 6 swatches. This is what they look like up close. They've all pretty much died down except for the last shade, which was really watery when it came out of the tube. So I'm going to let these set for a few minutes, especially wait until this one has dried. And then I'll give you up close swatches, and then we'll do a swipe test to see how smudge resistant they are. Okay, it's been about 3 minutes. This blue one is still setting. It's still wet at the edge there, but I wanted to show you what the color looks like when it's pretty much set. So these all have their own degree of shimmeriness or glitteriness, some more than others. So that's what these shades look like up close. I'm gonna wait another few minutes, make sure this blue one is all dry before we do a swipe test. So I was preparing to do a swipe test and then I noticed something about a couple of these shades. I'm gonna bring you up close. Do you see how the shades are flaking? They're literally coming off the skin there, and particularly this shade looks pretty dry. So you can alleviate that by using a little more product, but you should be aware because you can see that these shades don't have that same effect. So just be aware of that if you get those particular shades. All right, now for the swipe test, I'm just taking my bare finger and we're gonna drag. All right, so this blue shade transferred just a little only because this very edge of it is just slightly damp still, so I don't think that that's indicative of the shade as a whole. The other shades all around are not moving, but like I just indicated, these shades over here, in particular this pinky peachy shade, is flaking, so movement, oh, that's really bad there. It looks like movement on the shade will encourage it to start flaking off. So hopefully you can see what I'm talking about up close there. Okay, shade number 7 is going to be Astro Girl. This is a really frosty white shade. Number 8 is Out of the Woods. Looks kind of gross at first. This is a pretty standard chocolate brown. Number 9 is Paradise Found. And this is a shimmering olive shade with gold shimmer. 10 is Silver Lining. And this is a straightforward metallic silver. 11th shade is going to be Black Lightning. And this is a deep gunmetal with silver shimmer. And number 12 and last is going to be Infinite Sky. And this shade is a frosty aquamarine. Actually, I think I take that back. This is ending up looking like more of a frosty sky blue. Okay, so there are the rest of the foil eyeshadow shades. Here they are up close initially. Again, I'm going to wait a few minutes, let them totally dry down, and we'll see what they look like before doing a swipe test. So here's what we have after a couple of minutes. This frosty white shade did not apply as evenly as the other shades in the range. Pretty much the one thing I'm noting. Maybe a little unevenness with that sky blue also at the end. All right, and then the swipe test. Again, very good in terms of sticking to the skin really well. I wouldn't expect, unless you're actually rubbing your eyes directly, which you shouldn't really do anyway when you have makeup on, I would not expect these to be traveling or smudging. And even with water, let's test that with some spritzing. Yeah, pretty good. Obviously, once there's enough water there, it breaks down, but unless you are going into a pool and then literally rubbing your eyes, then I would expect these to be very budge proof. All right, so there are the Almay Velvet Foil Cream Shadows. I think I was expecting to be more impressed. I'll talk about the positives first. I like that the tubes are all in the shade of the eyeshadow inside, and they're all pretty accurate. There weren't any where I looked at the tube and then once we swatched the color, I thought, whoa, that's a totally different color. So that's a nice indication of what you're going to get in terms of the actual product. The colors are also vibrant and well pigmented. There weren't really anywhere they seemed dull or really lacking in opacity. We did have a couple that were a little more patchy and a little less opaque, but nothing huge in terms of a criticism there. And they are very, very much budge proof and I think would be tear and sweat resistant also. Moving on to the negatives. These were harder to swatch than I expected them to be, and harder to swatch than other cream shadows that I've reviewed and shown. And I think that's in large part due to the way these are packaged. So I think they could have come in, it would have been a lot nicer if they came in tubes with doe foot applicators. That will help a lot in terms of application. This is just sort of a clunky, not graceful way to package this kind of formula. So my suggestion for application, even though I normally sort of, I say half of the time with cream shadows, I blend them out with my finger, I would suggest squeezing these onto whatever kind of brush you would use normally for a cream product on the eyes, and then applying it that way to maintain control of the product. And I do think that this is the kind of formula that after it dries, if there's a lot of movement on the skin, they will start, at least some of the shades will start to crack and look crepey, because even on the swatches on my skin, after they dried down, they looked more crepey and they looked drier on the skin when you looked up close. It may not be something you can really notice just looking at someone unless you really got close to their face and were inspecting their makeup. So maybe practically speaking, that's not going to be a huge problem. But with the worst of the shades, with that peachy pink shade, you saw that it started to flake, it started to break apart, and that wasn't the only shade that happened to. It just didn't happen with the other shades to the same extreme. So keep those things in mind. I think especially if you already have dry skin, this probably is not the cream shadow that you want to try out. Let me know in the comment section below what you think in terms of the colors, if you've tried out the product itself, what experience you've had with the formula and how it wears. I hope this video was helpful to you if you were curious about this new Almay product. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you in the next video.